Mama! Mama! The cry echoed through the night. Folake jumped up from the mat in her room and rushed inside Dayo's room. Her heart almost ran out from her chest when she saw Dayo twisting on the mat. His chest rose and fell like someone fighting for breath. His lips were breaking, his small hands holding the mat tight. "Mama, I can't breathe," he whispered. Folake fell on her knees, carried him into her arms, and placed his head on her chest. "God, please, don't take my only son. Take me instead. Leave Dayo for me," she cried heavily. Her hands were shaking as she poured medicine into a spoon and forced it into his mouth. She held him close, rocking him back and forth. After some hours, his breathing became slow. His small body became quiet and weak like water leaf, but tears kept flowing down her face. Dayo was just 10 years old, but sickness had eaten him like fire, burning dry grass. The doctors had said it before, plain and cold. "Madam, your son has sickle cell disease. There's no cure for it. He will not live long." Those words stabbed Folake every day. She had done everything possible. She sold her finest wrappers, the ones her late husband bought for her before he died. She sold her small farm where she once harvested tomatoes and corn. She borrowed money from market women and even from her church sisters. She prayed, fasted till her stomach hurt, sowed seed in church. She did vigils, calling on God by every name she knew. But nothing changed. Every month, the sickness returned stronger and her son weaker. That night, when Dayo finally slept, Folake sat in a corner of the room. Her arms were wrapped around her knees. Her lips trembled. "God, why me? Why my only child? What sin did I commit?" Her voice cracked and the silence swallowed it. She cried till her chest ached. The next morning in Kuto market, Folake bent down to buy herbs for her son when two women started gossiping. "That boy will not live long ago." "Eya, poor Folake." Folake turned away quickly, pretending not to hear, but her chest burned like pepper. She lifted her basket, forcing her legs to move. As she passed the pepper sellers, another conversation reached her ears. Two old women sat under an umbrella, whispering. "Have you heard of Baba Aago?" one asked. The other one replied, "Shh, don't talk loud. You want people to hear you? That man lives near the old forest. They said he gives desperate mothers more years for their children. But the price is never small. Time is never free." Folake froze. Her heart jumped. Her ears stretched, but her hands were shaking. She wanted to ask, but fear tied her tongue. She forced herself to walk away, but the words remained in her ears. Time is never free. That night, the sickness came back. Dayo cried in pain, holding his chest. His voice was weak. "Mama, am I going to die?" Folake broke down and hugged him. "No, my son, you will not die. God forbid." Her tears wet his face as she held him, but her mind kept dragging her back to the whispers in the market. Baba Aago, the man who borrows time. Her heart fought itself. Was it witchcraft or just a story? But as Dayo's small body shook in her arms, she said, "Enough is enough," and she made a strong decision. "I will go, even if it costs me everything."
The following evening, Folake tied her wrapper tight and stepped out. She crossed the small river barefooted, the cold water biting her legs. Her heart pounded, but her feet refused to stop. She moved forward, one step after another, until at last she saw it, a small hut with a red cloth tied to the door. A tall man was sitting outside. His presence was heavy, like the whole forest bowed to him. His eyes glowed, sharp and piercing. It felt like they could look into her soul. "You are looking for me," the man said. Folake froze. How did you know?" The man smiled slowly.
"I smell death on your son. You came to borrow time."
Her knees became weak and she dropped to the ground. "Please, Baba Aago, save him. He is all I have." Baba Aago's face stayed calm, almost kind, but his words were strong like iron. "I can give him more years, but time is never free. One day, I will come back for what I want. You must pay." Folake's lips started shaking. "I don't care. Take anything. Just let my son live." Voice trembling. The man stood. His shadow stretched long in the evening light. He placed his cold hand on her head and whispered strange words. The wind blew heavily. The trees bent as if they were bowing for him. The ground started shaking under her knees. Then, silence filled everywhere.
"Go. Your son will not die now. He has been given more time. But remember, when the hour comes, I will return."
His voice echoing. Folake bowed her head, tears touching the earth. "Thank you." She ran home, her heart beating like a drum. That night, she entered the house. Dayo was sitting up on the mat, smiling weakly. "Mama, I feel stronger now." Talking slowly. Folake hugged him tight. Her heart was joyful. She kissed his head again and again. But even as she felt a sense of relief, a shadow remained in her chest. She knew the truth. She had borrowed time. In the next few weeks, Dayo grew stronger. He stood, walked, even laughed again. The neighbors called it a miracle. Church members said her prayers had been answered. Folake forced herself to smile, but her mind was never at rest. Every morning, when she saw Dayo breathe peacefully, she always smiled. But at night, when the house grew quiet, she heard Baba Aago's words echo, "Time is never free." She worked harder than ever. She sold tomatoes, beans, and palm oil in the market just to keep her mind busy. But her body grew thinner because her eyes were always watching the shadows. Sometimes she sat in the corner, watching Dayo sleep. She whispered, "God, forgive me. I did what I had to do." But her heart never found peace.
Folake thought she had suppressed her fear. She thought the memory of that night in the forest would fade like smoke. But fear is like a shadow. You may close your eyes, but it still follows. For years, she lived in two worlds. The first was bright, filled with Dayo's laughter, his footsteps running across the compound, his voice calling, "Mama, I'm hungry." The second was dark, silent, always reminding her that time was borrowed, not bought. She never forgot the man's name, Baba Aago. That night, when she had begged him to save her son, he whispered it as the wind roared through the trees. "They call me Baba Aago, keeper of hours, trader of destinies. Remember it well, woman, for the day will come when you must answer to me." She tried never to say it aloud. Names carry power, and Baba Aago's name was heavy like iron. At first, the signs were small. Doors opening by themselves, shadows staying longer than they should, dreams where she saw Dayo coughing blood, while a tall man in a white garment stood at the edge of the dream, watching silently. She dismissed the signs and dreams. Maybe I'm just afraid. Maybe it's only in my head. But then, the whispers started. It started one evening when Dayo was 18. He returned from football practice, his shirt soaked with sweat. He laughed, placing his boots aside. Mama, today I scored 2 goals. Even Kunle said I play like Drogba. Folake smiled, forcing her worry down. Just don't overuse your strength. You know your health. But as she spoke, Dayo's laughter faded. His eyes shifted. What is it? Folake asked.
Mama, did you call my name?
She frowned. No? What did you hear? He paused for a moment, looking uneasy. I heard someone whisper my name, but it wasn't your voice. Folake's heart pounded. Maybe it was the wind. But she knew it wasn't. That night, when she thought Dayo was asleep, she knelt in the corner of her room, holding her wrapper. God, cover my son. Don't let Baba Aago come near him. Delay him, hide us, blind him. But the silence that answered her was heavier by her prayer. It was in Kuto Market that the rumors reached her again. 2 young women were gossiping as they arranged tomatoes on a tray. Do you know Mama Femi's son? He just died suddenly. They said his mother once went to the forest. Forest? Which forest? The other asked. The old one. They said she borrowed his life from Baba Aago. But when the man came back, he didn't just take the boy, he took her too. The second woman screamed, Blood of Jesus. Is it true? That's what people are saying. Folake froze where she stood. The yam she came to buy slipped from her hand and rolled on the ground. She bent to pick it, but her fingers trembled so badly that the woman selling yams bent down to help her. Auntie Folake, are you all right? Folake forced a smile. Yes, I'm fine. But inside, her mind was moving like a storm. If the gossip was true, then Baba Aago had already claimed another family. Her time was drawing closer. By the time Dayo turned 19, he got admission into the university. In school, Dayo met Tenny, a beautiful girl with pretty eyes and a lovely smile. They studied together, walked hand in hand, shared dreams under mango trees. Tenny, Dayo said once, one day I will make you happy. And I want us to build a family, she replied with a shy smile. Dayo laughed, but deep inside, he was afraid. Sometimes, when nobody was watching, pain returned. Sharp bone aches, sudden tiredness. He hid it from Tenny. He didn't want pity. Folake noticed the love in his eyes. She warned him once. Dayo, love? At your age? With your health? He smiled. Mama, I'm fine now. Don't worry. But Folake's heart was never free from fear. One night, he entered her room quietly. She was sitting at the edge of her bed, staring at the wall, her lips moving. Mama, he called softly. She jumped, with her hand on her chest. Ah, Dayo, you nearly killed me with fright. Are you okay? What are you thinking? Are you hiding something? His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. Folake forced a laugh. Hide? Nothing, my son. But Dayo shook his head. I know I was sick when I was small. I know you prayed, gave me medicine, did everything. But Mama, why do people look at me strangely in the market? Why do I sometimes hear my name in the wind? Why does it feel like there's something you're not telling me? Folake's throat tightened. She wanted to tell him everything. She wanted to fall at his feet and confess, but fear locked her tongue. She touched his cheek and said, My son, sometimes life doesn't have answers. Just be grateful you are strong now. But the look in his eyes told her he wasn't convinced. It was during Harmattan, when the nights were cold and the air was dry, that Baba Aago revealed himself. Folake was fetching water from the backyard well when she felt someone behind her. She turned and froze. A tall man was standing there. His skin was as dark as charcoal. His eyes were glowing in the dark. He wore a white garment and beads on his hand. "Baba, Aago," she whispered. He smiled, revealing white and sharp set of teeth. "You remember my name? Good. Only a few dare to say it loud." Folake went on her knees. "Please, not yet. My son is still young. He has not even finished school." Baba Ago's voice sounded like dry leaves. "Did you think time was yours to command? I gave him what I promised for more years. Now the hour draws near." Tears ran down Folake's cheeks. "Please, give me more time. Take me, but leave him." Baba Ago moved closer, his eyes looking straight into hers. "Do not beg yet. The sands are still falling. But prepare yourself, woman. When the last grain drops, I will return, and this time there will be no begging." Then he vanished like smoke. Folake collapsed by the well, holding the rope. She wanted to scream, but the night swallowed her voice.
One evening, Folake returned from evening service to see her compound gate wide open. She was certain she had locked it. On the ground, there was a clay pot filled with ashes and cowries. Her heart nearly stopped. She knew what it meant. It was a reminder. Baba Ago was close. She tried to sweep it away, but the broom was glued to her hand. The pot did not move, not until she poured oil on it and set it on fire. After then, the ashes smoked for hours, filling the compound with a bad smell. Dayo came into the compound, coughing. "Mama, what's happening? Why does everywhere smell like something dead?" Folake forced a smile, though her hands were shaking. "Nothing, my son. Just some foolish children playing tricks," stuttering. But Dayo did not believe her. He looked at the ashes, then at his mother's shaky hands, and he knew whatever haunted them was not a child's play. That night, Folake could not sleep. She sat by Dayo's door, holding her Bible to her chest. But around midnight, a cold wind blew around the compound, and then she heard some footsteps, slow but heavy. Her breath froze. She stood up and looked outside the window. At the end of the compound, by the mango tree, Baba Ago stood there. His eyes glowed in the dark. He raised one hand, pointing directly at Dayo's room. Folake's scream hooked her throat. She wanted to run, to protect her son, to throw herself before the door. But when she blinked, Baba Ago was gone. On the wall of Dayo's room, a sign was written in red palm oil, saying, "The hour has come." Folake moved back in shock. This was it. The time she had borrowed was about to come to an end. And she knew, without doubt, that Baba Ago would collect.
Did you enjoy this story? Like, comment, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories.